Okay, so if you're anything like us, your feeds right now are just, well, they're a constant flood of AI news. It's overwhelming.
Totally. Chips, agents, security scares, billion-dollar valuations popping up constantly. It's almost impossible to keep track.
It really is. And that rapid pace, that sheer volume, that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive.
Exactly. Our mission today is to be that filter for you.
Yeah.
We've sifted through, you know, tons of reports, research, industry news, critical security stuff to pull out only the most impactful, maybe surprising, and definitely relevant facts from this last cycle.
And what the sources are really showing us is something pretty significant. We're not just seeing a tech trend anymore. We are deep inside what people are calling an AI supercycle.
Right. And it seems to be driven by these three big parallel fronts, all speeding up at once. You've got the foundational hardware race, then the maturation of these really autonomous agents.
Yeah, the agent part is huge.
And finally, just this massive adoption wave hitting both enterprise and consumers.
So for you, the learner listening in, our goal today is pretty specific. We want to get past the general buzzwords.
Yeah, give you that solid knowledge base focused on the tech that's changing how people work right now. We're talking LangChain 1.0, Gemini appearing in cars, why ChatGPT Atlas made Google's stock dip by $150 billion.
That Atlas story is wild. Okay, let's unpack this. Starting at the foundation, the hardware and data milestones. Because when we talk acceleration, the speed isn't just incremental, is it? We're seeing real paradigm shifts.
Oh, absolutely. We're hitting these verifiable quantum milestones now. Google's Willow chip, for instance, it recently achieved the first verified quantum advantage, they're calling it.
Verified. Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Well, they ran this specific calculation, the quantum echoes algorithm. It's basically a super complex problem designed to push quantum processors, and Willow performed up to, get this, 13,000 times faster than the world's top classical supercomputers.
13,000 times. That number just stops you in your tracks. It's not theoretical anymore.
Exactly. It's a realized speed up on a specific tough task. But, this speed race isn't just happening in the quantum realm.
Right, it's closer to home, too.
Yeah, in classical hardware, the chips in your phone or laptop are still making huge leaps. Apple's new M5 chip, for example.
That's the story there.
It delivers over 4 times the AI performance of the previous generation. That's thanks to advanced neural accelerators built right in. It means the AI stuff you can run locally without the cloud is just skyrocketing.
And all that chip power, it needs fuel, right?
Yeah.
Data. And we're seeing these enormous data sets being released.
Especially for embodied AI. That's the AI for systems that need to interact physically with the world, like robots.
So what kind of data infrastructure are we talking about?
Well, look at Hugging Face. They just unveiled Fine Vision. It's a massive 24 million sample multimodal data set.
Multimodal meaning text and images combined.
Exactly. Visual and language data. And it's designed specifically to standardize how we benchmark these VLMs, these visual language models. So we finally have a solid way to measure how well they actually see and understand the world.
Okay, and then there was another big one for robotics.
Yeah, the release of the largest ever egocentric data set of physical work. We're talking 400,000 labeled actions.
Egocentric, meaning from the first-person view.
Precisely. Captured from the perspective of the person doing the task, like literally filming what it looks like to assemble something or fix a pipe and labeling every single action. That kind of seeing it happen input is vital for training an AI to do a physical job.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, so we have the power, we have the fuel, which naturally leads to smarter but also more efficient models. When 3VL arrived, stronger visual reasoning.
Oh.
But efficiency seems like the big underlying theme this cycle.
Totally. Smaller models are getting way smarter. Liquid AI released LFM2 VL3B, quite a name. But the key thing is, it showed impressive multilingual skills with only a 3 billion parameter footprint. It just proves again that size isn't everything.
Right, parameter count isn't the only game in town anymore. And maybe the biggest efficiency play, cost-wise, was that self-correction technique you mentioned.
Yes, this is really clever. Researchers found ways to save costs by being smarter, not just throwing more power at the problem. They trigger the model's intensive self-check process only when the system signals it's uncertain about its answer.
So it only double-checks when it needs to.
Exactly. And by doing that, they matched top-tier reasoning performance, but cut the typical inference costs by 60 to 70%, only 30–40% of the usual cost.
That is huge for the industry. It really lowers the barrier for smaller companies, doesn't it? Suddenly, advanced AI reasoning isn't just for the giants.
Absolutely. It boosts competition, speeds up adoption,
Yeah.
and that pressure on efficiency, it's exactly what folks like Andrej Karpathy predicted. It shows the tools are mature enough for what he called the decade of agents.
Which brings us neatly into segment 2. The decade of agents, the battle for your workflow. These autonomous systems are growing up fast, and the market definitely noticed with LangChain.
Oh yeah, LangChain's 1.0 release was a huge signal. And it was backed up by that massive $125 million Series B funding round, valuing them at $1.25 billion.
Wow.
That valuation puts them squarely at the center of this booming agent building space. They provide the scaffolding for developers making these agents.
Then 1.0 wasn't just a number change, right? They added real features.
Definitely. A revamped agent builder, these provider-agnostic content blocks.
Yeah.
Basically, they made it much, much easier for developers to create complex, automated workflows that used to require tons of custom, messy code. It's like democratizing agent creation.
Okay, but the really disruptive move this cycle, the one that shook things up, wasn't infrastructure. It came from OpenAI with ChatGPT Atlas.
Yeah, the browser war is officially on. Atlas completely reframes the browser. It's not just for finding links anymore. It's an agentic workspace for handling complex tasks.
Like planning a trip or managing a big shopping list.
Exactly. Tasks that involve multiple steps and decisions, not just fetching information.
And the market reaction was intense.
It's immediate and brutal. Atlas launches, and boom, $150 billion wiped off Google's market value.
Why such panic?
Because it signaled to investors that Google's core business model search ads might finally be facing a real existential threat from these task completion agents.
If you stop searching and start telling an agent what to do, the ad model takes a massive hit.
Precisely. But this powerful new browser idea brings a really scary security risk that researchers at Brave uncovered. Prompt injections.
Okay, explain this. Prompt injection. It sounds bad.
It is. And
Yeah.
this is something everyone needs to grasp. It's where invisible text, or maybe cleverly hidden text on a normal web page, think tiny white text on a white background, can secretly command your AI assistant.
So the AI sees instructions that you don't.
Exactly. It bypasses normal browser security.
Yeah.
That hidden prompt could tell the agent to do malicious things, empty your crypto wallet, maybe leak sensitive files.
Whoa. It's like a hidden message only the AI can read, turning it against you. That's a fundamental trust issue for using agents on the web.
It absolutely is. And meanwhile, these agents are quietly moving into really high-stakes areas, like finance. Take OpenAI's Project Mercury.
What's that?
They're secretly hiring, like, over 100 former bankers from Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan,
What?
paying them $150 an hour
For what?
to basically teach AI how to do tasks usually done by junior analysts, automating that kind of financial workflow using deep domain expertise.
So much for those entry-level finance gigs. AI wants the knowledge, just maybe not the person working 80 hours.
Pretty much. It shows even these elite, knowledge-heavy roles are being broken down and automated.
Hooray.
And Coinbase is pushing it further with their Payments MCP multi-chain protocol.
Okay.
This lets AI agents securely use on-chain financial tools. We're
Yeah.
talking wallets, stablecoin payments. The agents are literally getting their own digital wallets and the power to make transactions.
Agents with bank accounts. Wow, okay, connecting this back, this whole shift isn't just software, it's fundamentally changing the consumer experience. Cars, mixed reality, home stuff, that's our segment 3.
Yeah, let's start with cars, because this is a major shakeup for drivers. GM is going all in, planning to put Google Gemini AI across their whole lineup starting in 2026.
But wait, the sources said they're phasing out Apple CarPlay and even Google's own Android Auto. That feels like a huge gamble. People rely on those.
It's definitely a gamble. But what GM seems to be betting on is deep integration and hyper-personalization. They think their own AI, deeply tied into the car's systems, can offer a much better experience than just mirroring your phone.
Oh, so?
It could proactively manage navigation, climate, even maintenance reminders based on your habits, because it knows the car and you. The big goal, they're talking eyes off, hands-free driving, debuting in the 2028 Cadillac Escalade IQ, all powered by this smarter built-in AI.
Okay, so goodbye phone projection, hello car-native AI. Meanwhile, the mixed reality space is also heating up, driven by AI.
That's right. Samsung and Google launched the Galaxy XR headset. It runs Android XR, uses Gemini AI, and it's priced around $1,800, aiming squarely at Apple's Vision Pro, but at nearly half the cost.
And the AI's role there.
to provide real-time info and conversational help within your view, making these headsets more than just screens on your face, actual spatial assistants.
And it's not just Samsung. We saw the Oculus founder's new company, Sesame, raise $250 million.
Yeah, $250 million, all for conversational AI smart glasses. The race for that next big wearable platform is definitely on, and AI is the key differentiator.
What's really striking is how fast AI is embedding itself into, like, core institutions and everyday services.
Absolutely. The University of Pittsburgh, for example. They're the first U.S. university deploying Anthropic's Claude for education using AWS at a massive scale, not just for admin, but for actual tailored learning help for students.
And then you see it in entertainment, too. Netflix is using generative AI all over the place now, streamlining production, like de-aging actors convincingly and obviously hyper-personalizing recommendations even further.
And it's even hitting local businesses. Yelp's launching AI hosts and receptionists for restaurants. You might chat with an AI before you even talk to a person to book a table. AI is becoming the OS for the service industry.
Which inevitably brings us to the necessary reckoning. Segment 4, security, trust, and governance. Because all this amazing speed, it's outpacing our ability to manage the risks.
Yeah, and we have to start with the misinformation problem. This is serious. A big BBC EB study found AI tools were factually wrong in 45% of answers about news topics.
Nearly half the time. That's alarming, especially for news.
It's deeply concerning for user trust. And that study specifically called out Google Gemini as making the most mistakes. So the question is, how do we fight back against this wave of errors and deliberate deepfakes?
Are there concrete steps being taken?
We are seeing some specific defenses roll out. YouTube, for instance, is launching an AI likeness detection tool. It helps creators find and request removal of unauthorized deepfakes of themselves.
Okay, that's helpful for creator.
Yeah, and it should be available to all monetized creators by January 2026. Governments are also stepping in. India is proposing rules for mandatory visible watermarks and labels on all AI-generated content online, trying to add some transparency.
Because the potential for fraud is massive, right? Especially financial fraud.
Hugely. European startups are battling a surge in deepfake financial fraud. Voice scams, specifically using AI-cloned voices, soared 680% in 2024 alone. They don't need perfect clones, just enough to fool automated systems or hurried humans.
And that's layered on top of the general rise in cybercrime enabled by AI.
Exactly. AI tools are making sophisticated cyber attacks and ransomware as a service easier and more effective for bad actors. They can operate at a greater scale.
Which leads to things like fake apps.
Yep. Security experts are warning about a sharp rise in fake apps, malicious apps, mimicking real ones to steal your data. They expect the volume to triple, maybe more, by 2025.
This tension forces that governance conversation. And the sources showed really different approaches emerging globally, right?
Three quite distinct camps. On one extreme, you have this broad coalition calling for a global pause on developing superintelligence. Just stop until we figure out safety.
Hit the brakes entirely. Okay, what's the middle ground?
That's more like some Google AI researchers urging transparency and public oversight for how AI is already being used inside companies. Let's understand the impact now without necessarily halting research.
And the third approach?
That's the UK's more flexible stance, proposing regulations that actually let companies temporarily waive certain rules to test AI solutions faster, kind of creating regulatory sandboxes.
Trying to innovate defenses as quickly as the threats emerge. Speed versus caution.
Exactly. So, wrapping this all up for you, the listener, the tension is just undeniable. You have this incredible technological acceleration, quantum leaps, truly autonomous agents, AI woven into everything, slamming right into these escalating real-world dangers, misinformation, prompt injection, sophisticated cybercrime.
It's a lot to process. We did find one memorable little detail in the sources, though, kind of a humorous reminder about human knowledge.
All right, the solved again story.
Yeah.
About the $1,000 Erdo's math problem. A powerful AI supposedly solved it. Big fanfare. Only for humans to realize later that the classic solution had just been missed in literature searches decades ago.
Oops. A good reminder that even with super powerful AI, checking the library archives is still pretty important.
Definitely. But it brings us to the final thought. Given how fast AI agents are integrating into our cars, our finances, our web browsers, if they really are the future of commerce, how fast does security have to evolve? How quickly can we solve things like prompt injection or massive data leaks to match this deployment speed?
And maybe more personally, what part of your professional life will be automated next? Something to chew on until our next deep dive.